Hey guys, Vegas.
And this is Dark Screen.
No intro this time since it's been a long time, but intros will be back next episode. We are back from hiatus.
Sorry about the very long hiatus. Just a lot of shit's been happening this 2020. To the point where I don't even know if I want to get into it, even though it is a fucking elephant in the room that just continues to get more and more obese and in your way.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I never thought of it that way.
Well, yeah, it's like, okay, it was a kind of a big, it was a big problem when it was, obviously we were talking about the pandemic. It was a problem in China. It kept getting worse. It finally started hit the rest of the globe, especially here in the America, and everywhere I talk to, people who normally wouldn't cover this stuff because they're not even like political podcasts or anything. Castle Super Beasts, they had to like do their podcast through a Discord Hangouts chat like you and me now. They usually used to do it together in the same room, but they're on lockdown. Jim Cornette has covered it at least 2 or 3 times so far.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's how he opens most of his recent podcasts now. Yeah, it's just. And I am trying to be more optimistic about the whole situation. I am trying to be hopeful that things will get better over time. It's not the end of the world. I don't believe that, but holy shit, it's definitely an endurance test for sure.
And it's getting worse. Well, you know what? I'll say one thing. My concern. Here's my 2 concerns. Now, they downplayed the virus in the media. Then they upped it, and no one understood why. Now, we're learning that the virus is worse than they had reported. Because they're like, oh, it only affects old people. Remember that?
Well, they say it only kills old people.
Yeah, well, it's killing people our age and stuff like that. So, So, yeah, it's worse than we had thought. But my concern is people overreacting and causing riots and shit, which is more likely, I think.
As well as hoarding toilet paper for no goddamn reason.
Yeah. But you know what? I'll say one podcast I don't think has really mentioned it is the Eric Bischoff podcast.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty behind on 83 Weeks. I know their most recent episode is supposed to be on Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I'm looking forward to that. But I've yet to listen to anything recently. Like for some reason, I was paying more and more attention to Jim Cornette because even though I don't agree with his views all the time, it is just fun listening to that guy get heated. It really is.
It is. Oh my God, it is. Yeah.
Oh man, it's great stuff, guys. Watch, listen to the Jim Cornette Experience or Cornette's Drive-Thru, which is the Q&A section of the podcast. It's really entertaining to listen to, and I do agree with some of his classic perspectives on the business and wrestling.
You and I are not Vince Russo fans, but the one thing I think Jim Cornette is, he kind of needs to get over him.
I don't know if I'm gonna. You tell him that.
You don't know if you agree?
No. Well. The reason why it's easy for you and me to say and possibly agree with that is because we never met Russo. We never worked with Russo. Cornette's not the only person who had problems with Russo.
Oh, I know Bischoff did.
Yeah, he did.
But have you ever seen Conrad Thompson, though? When he kind of... Like, Conrad Thompson seems like the guy that likes everyone, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
He likes... Huh?
Yeah, he tries to be a little bit on the unbiased side and stuff.
Because he said, he told Bischoff not too long ago, you know what, though? I've hung out with Russo, and he's a cool dude. And Bischoff's all, you don't know him. He goes, well, and then Conrad Thompson goes, well, what I know of him, I like.
Yeah, wow, okay.
Well, you know what he means. He doesn't know him as well. He doesn't work with him.
He's probably a good people person, but as a coworker, he's just the worst. And yeah, there are people who have those two sides of the coin. I'm probably a good friend, but you probably don't want me as a coworker or a manager
Yeah,
because I can be
and
a real hard ass.
and you know what? I'll say this about Russo. He one thing that bugs me about him is he calls himself a writer, but he doesn't know a shit lick about writing. He's good at in the moment, like Bischoff did, but when he was in the WWE, he had McMahon control him to a degree. So that's why they were able to have some flow and continuity. But in WCW, he didn't, and there was no continuity.
Mm.
And here's the thing: it's Russo's is you write it as you go along. And Bischoff, I agree with his writing philosophy. You should have a plan. Even when he was going to buy WCW before WWE did, when he was attempting to, Bischoff went as far as to write a mythology Bible about it because he knows it's a fictional world, sort of in the real world, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote a Bible.
Speaking of
And
wrestling and pandemic,
mm-hmm.
it's so weird to watch it nowadays because the shows are still going on, but there's no crowd.
Yeah, that was interesting. I watched Raw, but you know what? It seems like WWE seems better without the crowd.
I mean, part of me is a little upset because the latest episode of Raw was March 16th,
Mm-hmm.
aka 316 Day, and that was when one of my all-time favorites, Stone Cold Steve Austin, showed up. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just really sad to hear him go, "Give me a hell yeah," and it cuts to a row of fucking empty chairs.
Oh shit!
And stuff like that. And AEW had a big surprise that I really liked. The
Oh, that
newest
whole. Let me say one thing. That show, that episode of AEW, probably. It seems like AEW. I've watched it since the beginning, and I've always liked it. But it seemed like at first they were just doing athletic, and it was hard to tell sometimes who was a heel and not. But right now, over the course around, I would say December, and I would say it's gotten much better. But with the stories they've told, fuck, they're telling amazing stories right now. The Jake the Snake stuff and the surprise you mentioned and all that.
well, the thing that also disappoints me about that surprise, while I am glad, I might as well just spoil it. Um, the end of that angle reveals that Matt Hardy is now a part of AEW, but he is clearly doing the broken Matt Hardy gimmick. Vanguard 1, his little drone shows up, and he's up in the crowd. He's dressed in that outfit, and he was doing the delete his little delete stance, and again, audience completely empty. And the
Oh,
way they worked it was the way they worked it. They clearly had the audience in mind because instead of him coming into the crowd and grabbing a microphone, he didn't even have a microphone. It's just him in the corner going, "Ah, delightful." You can't hear him, but that's what you can hear. And he's like, "Delete, delete," and if the audience was there, they would have chanted "delete" with him, and it would have been got a great pop. And I actually had to watch fucking YouTube react videos to that clip in order to
oh,
satiate my joy. Yeah, because audience participation in wrestling is a major contributor to
oh,
generate hype and shit. And I agree with Jim Cornette when he says it's just not right for them to do it in empty shows. Either just not have time, just either have like a highlight reel, a best of show reruns, or, and this is something that his co-host, I forget his name,
Brian.
Brian Last, I think his name is. He disagreed with him there, but Jim Cornette thought maybe they should just have the developmental guys like fill up the front seats or something and have them react. Of course, Brian disagrees because he would fear that it would just increase the spread of infection. But yeah, like I said, I can feel it. I mean, I can feel how bizarre and ultimately kind of crippling it is to not have those pops. Just it, man. Imagine football. Imagine football games with no audiences. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look on the bright side. Most people are forced to stay home because they're in city, sometimes statewide lockdowns, and it's a good time to be playing some video games.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
I forgot we're a
Well,
gaming podcast.
we are, but let me say one thing about wrestling real quick. I don't mind the crowds. I think it makes WWE the AEW crowd is awesome, but the WWE crowd, depending on where they go, it can be fucking dumb.
Oh, I know. Like, most people just don't fucking care.
Yeah,
WWE audiences. It's kind of sad,
yeah,
but this is
but
somehow
that's why.
sadder.
Well, for me, with the Stone Cold, yeah, I agree. But for the most part, I think it was better for WWE just because they have some problems, and I don't know. But anyway, I will say
They're
this: Did you
better.
hear about WrestleMania?
They're better. Oh, not yet, but let me just say they're better off just filling each of the seats up with stuffed animals and using fucking recycled background stock footage, stock sound effects for cheers and shit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
But
yeah,
what's
I
up with
could.
WrestleMania? I keep hearing that obviously, Vince wants to keep the show going.
Oh, you didn't hear? It's official what they're doing with it. It's going to happen, but at the Performance Center with no audience. But here's the even big kicker: it's not going to be a one night thing. It's going to be the Saturday before WrestleMania was scheduled, and that Sunday it was scheduled. It's going to be a 2 night event.
Huh.
I will be watching WrestleMania, but you know what? To be honest, I kind of like the 2 night thing because you know how long fucking WrestleMania is in one night. It's like 7 hours, and that's just the main event, not the pre-show shit.
Damn. Yeah,
So
that makes a little more sense, but we'll see. It's just it's still gonna be a bizarre thing. Nothing
it will
stopped
be.
nothing stopped wrestling before.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So video games. Speaking, I know what game you probably got. You got Doom Eternal.
I have yet to play it. I'm going to stream it this evening as a first impressions thing, just like I did with Doom 2016. Um, and I'll give out my thoughts next time. But I am so far hearing great things about it. Did you pick up Animal Crossing?
Um, no, I didn't. I don't. I'm not big into Animal Crossing or Doom really.
Oh,
But I'm kind of interested in Doom, but I'm not really big into Animal Crossing. Look, there's 3 games coming out in the next couple weeks that I'm more interested in, and I'm sure you're interested in them as well.
I
Persona
am
5 Royal.
no, not interested in that one.
Why?
Couple reasons. Number one, um, you cannot, you cannot new game plus it with a save of the vanilla game.
Okay.
I am not going through an extra 100 hours of experiencing the same story just so I can get to like 30% new fucking content.
Oh, I'll do that.
I'm sorry. There's a bunch of other RPGs that I want to experience, some new stuff I want to experience, and then play them and then enjoy them. I just can't go back. Number two, they're still charging the game at full fucking price. Makes me want to
Okay.
slam my head to a fucking wall. And number three, I think Atlas becoming more popular, more mainstream, is actually being a detriment to their fucking artistic integrity because now they had to censor the game.
What?
Say they and it's not a big deal. I will admit that much. All they
Okay.
did was take out a gay joke I don't even remember, but I see it being a potential slippery slope. Um,
Well, I'm gonna get it because I haven't played the game in 2 years.
3 you mean? The game came out 2017.
No, I played it in 2018 again.
Oh. But
But
like I said, it's just I wouldn't mind trying out. I wouldn't mind just blasting through it just to get to the new stuff. And if it was $40, even then, oh yeah, I don't think any of the DLC would carry over.
I don't know. We'll see. But
Also, where the fuck is Shin Megami Tensei 5?
yeah, that's supposed to be on the Switch.
Hopefully something will come out after, at the very least after Scramble. Oh yeah, another thing about Persona 5.
What?
They didn't learn a goddamn thing about their streaming regulations.
Oh.
Yeah, they're still doing that same shit with that and Scramble.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Scramble coming out anytime soon?
I can't remember. I'm not interested in it at the moment. My attentions are a couple of fucking old school indie titles, old school style at least. Catching up on the backlog from the past couple of years, and trying to see if the Yakuza remasters are going on sale so I can pick all three of those up at once.
Okay. So that's one of them for me. Although I understand why your reason. I want to play it again with new content. So that's just me. Number 2, a certain remake and a certain other remake.
I did download the Resident Evil 3 demo. I've yet to try it out.
Okay.
See, that's gonna be the pattern with this episode. I downloaded this demo, but I didn't play it because I did the same for Trials of Mana.
Oh, I got to do that too. Final Fantasy that comes out in May.
Yeah, if things go well, yeah.
Yeah. But
the other
Final
one is Final Fantasy 7.
Yep.
Okay, I did play the demo to that.
Yeah, and it's awesome, huh?
It's really fucking good, actually. Oh god,
Are you gonna get that day one?
I'll try not to because I want to save my money. I'm still earning my keep, but I also don't have the hard drive space for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is. They said it's going to be over 100 gigs, and I need to get me an external. I need to get me an SSD. I am thinking about getting me a nice big fat one, maybe 8 terabytes. Yeah, I am going to go for the highest quality.
For the Switch?
No, Final Fantasy 7?
Oh, Final Fantasy 7. I gotcha.
No, I already bulked up my Switch memory card, although that one's less than 200 gigs now. I bought a shitload of games. I'll probably get into that later. And so yeah, I just need to upgrade my hard drive space because I am getting sick and tired of uninstalling games that I don't want to uninstall.
Right.
One of those games had to be Injustice 2, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's okay. It happens.
All right. So
it happens. 8 terabytes, huh?
I've already used up, how many was it? 2? And if PlayStation 5 allows you to use the same external SSD, they hopefully could carry me over to that when I get a PS5. That's the plan. So, during Christmas, any games you picked up?
Let's see. I got, speaking of Shin Megami Tensei, I got, and Fire Emblem, I got Tokyo Mirage Sessions. And then, I haven't really, I bought a few games that I had to get rid of for financial reasons, so there's that. And then, I did play some Final Fantasy 14, which I like.
All right.
Yeah, don't worry. This show won't have this every episode. I'll just say I played it. It's fun because you don't really have anything to add to it. So.
No, I don't. If there's going to be an MMO game I'm curious about, it's Phantasy Star Online 2.
Oh yeah, when is that coming out?
I have no idea. They're doing beta tests, Xbox only, unfortunately. But I am going to get the game. I'm going to try to get the game on PC. Hopefully my computer can run it. Hopefully. All right. Anything else?
Let's see. I have to talk about this game, and I want to buy it on the Switch. I had Apple Arcade, so I hooked up my PS4 controller, right, for a little bit.
Right.
And do you remember a very early 360 Xbox Live arcade game called Marble Blast Ultra?
No, actually.
Okay. So Marble Blast Ultra was obviously inspired by Marble Madness, obviously, right?
Right. Okay. So it
But
is
it's
part of Marble Madness.
no, it's inspired by it, but it's not Marble Madness because it's 3D and it's takes a third person perspective, right, of the marble. And you traverse these different areas and there's all kinds of obstacles, and what's great about the game is it's constantly adding new things, new platforms, new challenges, stuff like that. Okay? The unfortunate news, my friend, is that company went up.
Damn.
Okay?
That sucks.
That sucks. But some of the developers in Marble Blast kind of floated around and they got together and formed a new studio. And they made a new game, which is essentially a new Marble Blast. It essentially really is that. It goes by the name of Marble It Up. And it's $20 on Switch. And it has a lot of fucking content for $20. But man, it's fucking fun as hell.
Nice. I might have to add that to my wish list.
Yeah, basically it's a third person perspective, and you go. It's you know what? I hate to say this, but maybe it's what a 3D Sonic should have been
Hmm.
because it gets fast like a Sonic game, but it also contains the platform elements and such.
Interesting.
Now, there's no story to it, obviously, but you just traverse through different levels. And what I really liked about both games was how beautiful, but what's the word? Surreal the environment. Like like I said, there's no story, but they go out of their way to kind of give the environments this surreal feel to it.
Hmm. All right. Anything else, or should I talk about another game I picked up over a hiatus?
You know what? Once I buy it on Switch, I'll talk about it, and I think you really should get it. It's only $20.
All right. Uh, so one of the games I picked up during the holiday season was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3
How was that?
because I was a fan of X-Men Legends and the first Marvel Ultimate Alliance game on the 360.
Yep.
Um I really do like this game. It is a lot of fun in a lot of ways. It is a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game through and through. Multiplayer experience was also pretty fun. All the characters play very differently. They have a pretty big roster. Some characters I didn't even expect to show up, like Miles Morales, Spider Man. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they X-Men are in the game, and your dog is annoying. I can
Oh,
hear him. Yeah.
yeah. I'm outside, so
Oh, okay.
that's not my dog.
I also is that why I hear wind chimes in the background?
Yep. I
Ah,
have to
okay.
be outside at the moment.
Okay. Um the X-Men are in the game, which that's a big plus cuz I did not like them getting cock blocked because of the recent bullshit with them. Though I did hear one of the new one of the last DLC packs, but two of them already came out. The first one was I think it was the Midnight Suns or something like that.
Right.
Morbius, Blade, The Punisher, which is a good pick, and Moon Knight were in the first DLC batch. The second
Mm-hmm.
one is Dark Phoenix Rising.
Ooh,
Uh,
I want that one.
that one has Iceman, Cable, Jean Grey, and one of my absolute favorite X-Men, Gambit, and
Nice.
that pack. I heard the next pack that they're going to release. I haven't seen a confirmed trailer, but everyone's saying this is the case, that the next pack is going to be Fantastic Four.
Nice. So let me ask you a question about this Dark Phoenix pack. Does it have like a story mode or a side quest?
It's like a series of missions, so it kind of feels like feels more like a side quest. It's pretty much going to be like defeat these certain enemies in a certain amount of time. You go through these gauntlets. They have it's weird. It's like a weird action RPG. I wouldn't call it a roguelike because it wasn't random, but it's basically like a series of quick missions, but it's great for leveling up your characters and shit like that. The story itself in the main game. This is my point of contention for this game. It's also just a point of my contention with current Marvel in general. Um, It's basically the Infinity Gauntlet story all over again for like the umpteenth time. But that's not the problem I have with it. By the way, the voice acting's really good. Yuri Lowenthal returns as Spider-Man.
Nice.
Steve Bloom, you can play a drinking game to every character Steve Bloom has voiced in there. So take one drink for Wolverine, take one drink for Green Goblin because he voiced him in Spectacular Spider-Man. He returns to play Green Goblin in this. Take one drink, he's Venom now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's not pretty, not a bad pick. Yeah, Venom's in the game. Hype. And he actually has attacks that are very similar to his attacks in Marvel vs. Capcom. He's got the Venom Fang. He's got that attack where he has those little symbiote monster leeches sprouting from the ground. It's great. But the storyline is it's the Infinity Gauntlet and story. Run around area, collect stones, blah, blah, blah. I haven't even beaten it yet. I believe I'm still at Wakanda. My problem with the story, and a friend of mine who has this game, who loved it, who tried to get me, who convinced me to get the game in the first place, he had a really perfect metaphor comparing Ultimate Alliance 3 and the current Marvel to the original Ultimate Alliance, and before that to classic Marvel. Current Marvel is more like a roller coaster ride. It's fun, it's fast paced, it's pretty exciting, but before you can like enjoy anything or take it in the moment, you're already moving up to the next point. Because what happens is you get to one part in the stage, you do a boss battle, then a cutscene plays, and before characters can sit down and take a break, they're like, we gotta go to Wilson Fisk's tower. Oh no, we gotta go to the Avengers Tower. Oh no, Ultron is attacking. Oh no, Sentinels are attacking. It goes that fast. It's just a nonstop.
That's
it's
not.
nonstop.
That's the thing that's why the Marvel movies drive me so nuts. Is they're not about that. They're about those characters and their human flaws and their develop how they grow and such. But they don't do that. They just spout one-liners and go on.
Yeah, that's another thing. They assume that you should already know these characters. Now, they did pick the ones from the cinematic universe that everyone's familiar with. Like, the game starts with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Then it has your typical Avengers. It has Captain fucking Marvel, who I've yet to play in that game. I actually spent more time playing as Miss Marvel than I did Kamala Khan than I did with Captain Marvel.
Yep.
But there are some Inhuman characters. I've never seen the Inhumans. I don't know who they are. They had a side character named Thane. I've never heard of this character before. I was like, who the hell is Thane? He's like, oh, he's the son of a popular character. Can you guess who?
Yep, Thanos. I knew about him.
And I was like, okay, Thanos, and yeah. But now, going back to the earlier games, X-Men Legends through Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I never played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, but I did play the first two X-Men Legends and MUA 1.
And they had good stories, huh?
Well, yeah, they were a little more, the gameplay and all that was a little more slow paced, but it was very well paced. There are moments where you take breaks in the game. Like, it's not from stage to stage.
Mm-hmm.
You have a stage, and then characters will retreat to their base. In X-Men Legends' case, it was the Xavier Institute. And then you play as the Jubilee / Kitty Pryde, the newcomer, which is Alison Cressmere, I believe, a.k.a. Magma. She was the character that you would explore the mansion, do little side activities, talk to other characters, learn about their stuff, just in case you never read comic books. You know, they actually like reference stuff in continuity. Unlock flashback missions, like the time when Juggernaut attacked the Xavier Institute when they were in the 1960s get-up, back when Beast looked like a human being, and they all dressed like Cyclops. Yeah, that shit was fun. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, still had some of that. You still talk to characters. You still learn things about the lore, like Pym particles and who the Fantastic Four and stuff. My problem is they didn't really have flashback missions. They had like single character missions. And they were fine because it would open with a character doing a narration of who they are and what they're doing currently in this mission. So I was like, okay, I don't know anything about Luke Cage. What's Luke Cage all about? It's like, I'm a hero for hire in Harlem, but every time I would do a job, I would have to end up reimbursing the customers. Blah blah blah. I was like, oh, okay. I'm also pretty bulletproof. That's cool. That's cool. It lets you take it all in. It lets you take it all in, and I love it for that. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, it just really doesn't have that. And while it is still a pretty solid game, and I recommend it as a multiplayer experience for online, there is couch co-op, but the camera angles are bullshit. I
Okay.
can confirm that because I was playing it with friends and we couldn't even find out where the fuck we were during the fight in the Xavier Institute half the time. Um, but that is how I best describe the current Marvel Ultimate Alliance game. Actually, me talking about it makes me want to hunt down a copy of X-Men Legends and pick that up, and maybe the first Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I know they re-released that game, but I heard a port on modern ports, but I didn't hear good things about it. But that's the perfect way to sum it all up.
Yeah.
Another game I picked up that I want to strongly recommend is Power Rangers Battle for the Grid,
Yep.
which was made by a very small indie team called NWA or Inway, or the way they spell it. It's lowercase a and capital W, and then I believe it's like AY. Whatever. They made a Power Rangers fighting game that is loosely based off of the mobile game, but it's so much better because it's an actual fighting game, even though it's simple. The gameplay, it's 3v3 tag. The character roster is pretty small, but I have hopes that it will still continue to expand. And I picked up the game with all the expansions, so I have all the latest characters like Daishi and the Quantum Ranger, who is played by Virgil from Devil May Cry. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they even make references to that in his character. I need more quantum power. Okay.
Virgil.
Yep.
Who plays Virgil?
Oh God, I am forgetting his fucking name.
Did they at least get speaking of Devil May Cry actors, did they at least get Johnny Young Bosch?
Um, no, Adam. For Power Rangers,
Yeah.
Adam is not playable yet. I
Okay.
expect him to be eventually, but not right now. Um, he's not in the game yet. Um, but they have some of your typical they have some of your typical Mighty Morphin characters. They have Jason the Red Ranger, Tommy the Green Ranger and he also has the White Ranger alternate skin. But they also have some weird alternate versions of characters because they have a story mode in the game, and the story mode is based off of a Hasbro comic called Shattered Grid, it's your typical Injustice alternate universe storyline where there's an evil version of a Power Ranger who wants to take over the other dimensions. In this case, it's Tommy, who is now known as Lord Drakon. Um, but and because of this, they have like alternate versions of some of the Mighty Morphin Rangers. They have a ranger by the name of Mastodon Sentry, who is basically the Black Ranger in like tactical SWAT gear, and he's holding a big ass assault rifle. They have
Oh shit.
they have Kimberly, I think it was like the Ranger Hunter, and she's like dressed in mostly pink and black, and she has like a small cape. And they also
Oh shit.
and they also have Trini the Yellow Ranger, but she's like in a fucking rhino mech suit that's apparently from a Megazord. So she's like in a heavy super armor tank or whatever. So they have some like crazy ass ranger ideas that I've never seen before. But they also have rangers from different eras as well. They have the Cat Ranger and the Shadow Ranger from SPD. They have the Magna
Mm-hmm.
Defender from Lost Galaxy, one of my favorite Power Rangers series, and I really do like the Magna Defender a lot, so I'm glad he's in the game, and he is one of my mains. They have Gia, the yellow Super Mega Force Ranger, but I don't call her that because I don't watch Super Mega Force. I heard it sucked. So I just refer to her as Gokai Yellow because Gokaiger is a far superior Sentai series. Um,
Mm-hmm.
But the gameplay is actually very simple and like it has a light, medium, heavy, and it has an extra button for special attacks. And characters have special attacks in a way of Smash Bros. Depending on where they push the stick to do the attack. So they have like a neutral special, a jump special, and a forward special, and a back special. And each character only has like one particular EX attack. They don't have EX variations of all of them, just one EX attack, and they have one super special. And just the basics are just easy to pick up and play like that. The complexity comes from trying to learn all the combos in the game. And I've done some high ranking level matches, and if people know what they're doing, they can land about 70% damage on your ass at one go. So you gotta be very extra careful. But it's a really fun game.
Mm-hmm.
They've added an update to where it's cross-play on all platforms. So if you pick this game up on PS4, I could still play it with you on my Switch.
Probably get it on Switch, but
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds good.
And the soundtrack's really freaking good as well. I definitely like the current remix they have for the Power Rangers theme. It's really hype. And yeah, I hope people pick up this game and continue to support it, and hopefully they'll add more content because I want to see characters like TJ, the Blue Space Ranger / Red Turbo Ranger. I want to see more extra Rangers, maybe Gokai Silver or maybe different villains. I know they have a couple of villains at least. They have Lord Zed, obviously. They have Daishi. Who else do they have? Goldar's in it as well.
Nice.
That's
No Rita
great.
Repulsa?
No, she's in the story mode, but she's not a playable character in the game.
Rita Repulsa, aka Bandora.
Bandora, yeah. Honestly, I think the next villain I want is Mesogog from Dino Thunder.
Oh, who's
Yeah,
Mesogod?
he he was a reptilian monster who who wants to revert the world back to the dinosaur ages. That's his motivation. And he has a really cool design. It's not a very big bulky design like some of the normal monsters. It's a pretty sleek look, although during the final battle he did turn into like a like a weird T-Rex monster form that didn't look all that intimidating. I think they should have just stuck with his base design. And he's actually like the father of the White Ranger in Dino Thunder, but in this case he has a Jekyll and Hyde problem going on. Like his father, Anton Mercer, he's actually a pretty all right stand-up guy. It's just that his alter ego Mesogog is a complete monster, both figuratively and literally.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to.
So
I think having him in there would be pretty cool.
let me ask you a question. What was I going to say? Is he the Japanese villain or is he the American villain?
I think he's American exclusive.
Okay.
Because I think the Japanese villains were a little bit weirder. I'm gonna say the only carryover was possibly Zeltrex, but I'm gonna have to ask my buddy Tom because he's the fucking tokusatsu expert and see if he can confirm that or not. If not, I can always look it up on Wiki and see what's changed to get the cliff notes.
Oh, I gotcha.
But yeah, some American exclusive Power Ranger villains are actually really good. Like Zed was an American exclusive, and he's pretty awesome.
Until they made him into a joke.
Yeah,
He got married with
because of some fucking angry moms.
But he was but he was ruthless in those appearances.
Oh yeah. His voice actor unfortunately passed away, but the voice actor they got for him in this game is rock solid. He actually sounds way more intimidating to me.
Oh, so he's the real.
Oh yeah.
Real Lord. No, you know what though? With all of that going on, Lost Galaxy's the one where Zordon dies, right?
No, that was Space, the one before it.
Oh, okay. I thought Galaxy was the one where he died.
No, Galaxy took place after Space, so they had two space themes back to back. Adapted Sentai that had nothing to do with space in the first place. Like, I think Mega Ranger was video game based.
What? Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that got adapted into space. And Ginga Man was a nature based one.
Well, there's one thing I do want to talk about with considering Power Rangers and things like that. Have you? What I was I going to say? Have you seen that the Power Rangers are on Shout TV, and they have a free Pluto TV channel with them and Common Ranger now?
Wait, can you repeat that? You were going in and out. They're where?
Oh, okay. So I have a Shout Factory subscription, which is only $2.99 on Amazon, right? So
Right.
I get a ton of Sentai series.
Oh,
Sentai.
you're talking about Tokusatsu?
Well, that's part of it. Shout Factory owns them, so they're on the Amazon Prime. But yeah, they have them on Pluto TV now too, which is the Shout Factory.
Yeah, like for the past couple of weeks, there's been nothing but like Tokusatsu shows appearing in like not in the main streaming services, or if they are, they're part of a secondary package, like you said with Amazon Prime. But they're on stuff like on streaming services I never heard of before, like 2BTV and stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool. Um,
They're on Pluto. I know that Tubi TV is, but you get commercials with the Amazon Prime. As far as I know, they're on demand, so you can watch them whenever and all. Because I've watched Zoo Ranger on Amazon.
okay. But no, I do need to catch up on it. Like one show I am trying to finish watching is Go Kaiser, which I've been putting off for nearly a decade at this point.
Gotcha.
That's the one I want them to just hurry up and localize. Just skip all the other shows. Because, are you familiar with Go Kaiser?
Go Kaiser? No, which one is that?
That was the pirate themed one that celebrated the 35th anniversary of Super Sentai. It's basically about a bunch of space pirates looking for the great treasure while fighting off an evil space empire on Earth. And what's awesome about them, even though they already have pretty cool designs with their ranger costumes and stuff, what's really awesome about them is they have ranger keys that allows them to transform into previous rangers from different eras.
That's sick.
Oh yeah. Like in the first episode, they transformed into the original Super Sentai series Go Ranger. It's pretty freaking awesome, and the story and characters were still rock solid so far, and they keep making they keep having Sentai characters appear as special guest characters from time to time. The Car Ranger episode was the funniest one, obviously.
Right.
Because Car Ranger was like a comedic Sentai. And yet, when they adapted it into Power Rangers Turbo, it was considered one of the weakest.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And
So we're running out of time, but I want to make, while we're running out of time, as you know, right?
right.
I want to make a proposal for our next episode. We talked briefly about it, but there are, and we're not just talking about the big two in April, but there are a lot of video game remakes. Trials of Mana. There have been a lot released. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should do an episode on video game remakes. What do you say?
That sounds like a great idea.
All right.
All right. One last thing. I also did pick up Super Mario Maker 2.
That game is a lot of fun.
That game is a lot of fun. I saw Mario returning from the army, but there was actually a stage before that. There was
Really?
there was Mario joins the army. So there was actually,
Really?
Yeah, it's a two-parter.
You know, Mario joins the army must have been made afterwards, because Mario leaves the army is that episode. You know what's so weird is that level tells a story.
Oh yeah, I've played a lot of levels that told stories. I played a level that told a love story between two Koopa Troopas. I played a couple stories where Mario goes to the movie. Mario robs a bank. Yeah, they have some. There's even one mission. There's not one mission. There's one stage that's supposed to be a throwback to those early PC RPGs. You know, the ones that are like in first person view with the menu and all that shit.
Yeah, I played that one.
Yeah, somebody made a Mario stage centered around doing stuff like that. It's crazy. crazy what
It
people can
is.
do in this game.
Oh, yeah, and then there's the calculator and the. Did you play the tennis table?
I think I have. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did. Oh man, it's nuts. Anyways, before we wrap up, one last question.
What's up?
Somebody asked a question for the podcast.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Matt Ween asked, and this is for both of us. What would be a good mecha anime for someone new to the genre? Like you want to introduce them to old school mecha from the 80s to mid 90s.
Ooh,
Basically, pick a mecha that you were introduced to a newbie.
certainly. Um, certainly not Evangelion. Some people say that's a good beginner anime. I beg to differ. Let's see. I think you need to be familiar with the mecha anime to watch that one. Trying to think of a good one. You know what? G Gundam. And I like G Gundam.
Okay.
A good Gundam series, like Double O or G Gundam or the original. You know what I mean? Those are good ones.
Let's see. I think I might go Macross.
Macross, yeah, that's a good choice. You know what? I'll even add on to that. With Macross, since it's from the same creator, what's that show called? Fuck, Escaflowne.
Oh. I still need to watch it.
It's a good show.
I've heard. Well.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, another question from Oni Ryo. Didn't see. I almost missed this one. What is your current take on playing games you enjoy among your gaming library more than whatever is trending at the time? Because I play games that I enjoy among my library as opposed to following the trends, I do just personally enjoy them more. Because I just go with my own flow. I like to be the controller of my own destiny, as Randall would say.
Right.
Not that following trends are bad. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be playing Final Fantasy VII, and they're going to be liking it, and Magus is probably going to be among one of them. I followed the trend with Resident Evil 2. I came out loving that game. But, you know, there are some games that... And I was doing this since the beginning of the decade. There were games where people were, like, getting excited for... And I'm like, that's nice. I'm going to try out Akiba's Trip and just take the risk. And then I ended up loving that game so goddamn much. More than I thought I would. All right, now you answer the question.
Yeah. Oh, so what's the question again? I wasn't too sure.
What is your current take on playing games you enjoy among your gaming library more than whatever is trending at the time?
You know, I don't care. I play whatever I want. Like, I'll play Contra right now. I'll play games. You know what? I still... I don't know if it's real trending, but it's still popular out there. A lot... Even Nintendo Minute does episodes. I still play Breath of the Wild. But...
I do too, because I've yet
then
to
I'll
finish
go...
it.
Yeah. And then I'll go back and I'll play Contra or I'll play something old school. And I'll even play something obscure. I don't really care about what's trending. So that's just me.
All right. Well, I got nothing else to add. I guess we'll do this again next time, right?
Yep.
All right. And with that, guys, this is Dark Screen. Oh, yeah. Well, might as well give ourselves out away. I'll post a link to our Facebook group, our Discord group, and in the description below. Y'all see me on my channel. I have a Twitter account. You can follow me for occasional updates and just once in a while posting. Magus, you can find them youtube.com/MagusX1. And that's all you have, do you? Right?
Right.
Right. All right. That's all you got. Just the Magus channel.
And the Magus X1 Facebook group, which you're part of.
Yeah.
Which is like the Discord server.
Which I am posting as a link in the link below. And with that, this is Dark Screen signing out.
And with that, guys, Magus out.
Take care, everybody.